Yeah, so I started, I've always liked to bake ever since I was a little girl. When the book fair would come to school, I would look for the cookbooks and I would just beg my mom to buy me the ingredients. And they were horrible at first, but I got better as the years went by. And as a teenager, the Cake Boss was really popular and Charm City Cakes with Duff Goldman. And I remember watching those on TV and realizing that I could combine my passion for baking along with my passion for art. So when I was really young, I started my hand at just trying different things and playing around with fondant and different sculpting tools. And I love cooking as well. So you'll see on my page, I'm kind of niched into cakes that look like food and that look like meals. So I was able to combine another one of my passions, my love for food and my love for cake art. So I'm just really inspired by, my life experiences, my favorite foods, things I see every day. I can go out to the store and look at something and be like, I want to turn that into a cake, like right now. So that's where I draw my inspiration from, and it's been really fun to, just kind of create a little bit of a trend within a trend, and just connect with so many people across the world. And I just love chatting with them in my comments, especially just seeing their reactions because some people love it and some people hate it. Like, why would you do that? It's my favorite meal. But yeah, it's a joy. I love doing it.
As a cake artist, what does creativity mean to you?
Yeah, I think creativity is definitely like the driving force that keeps me going. I think in this industry, for whatever kind of cakes you do or whatever kind of baking you do, you have to have some creativity behind it. And we all have, different strengths, different weaknesses. But I love to brainstorm. I love to try new things that I haven't seen done before. And that definitely requires a lot of creativity. I love being creative. That's really who I am, like in the depths of me is a creative. So it really means a lot to me. And I'm thankful to be able to express my creativity through cake art and through baking and trying new recipes and stuff like that.
To boss English Rose, I want to ask them, do you think creativity can be learned or it comes natural?
Well, yeah, it can definitely be learned. You can definitely learn new skills. I think a lot of people sometimes start thinking they're not creative, and I think there's a big difference between some people naturally are amazing at drawing or at making beautiful cakes, but you can definitely learn it. I think as long as you've got the passion, creativity is just to create something. So just by bringing ingredients together and making some nice flavors, you are being creative. And then I think when if you decide to make it to become a baker professionally, you don't necessarily have to be amazing to start with. I'm entirely self-taught, and like Joy said when she first started, some of the things that I made were like, oh my God. And it's actually really fun to just kind of look at where it started and where I am now. And most of it, I was self-taught. I've always enjoyed art, but I believe that you can, as long as you enjoy it, you don't have to be good at it. Becoming good at it comes with practice. That's what I think. And I really, really enjoy teaching people and doing workshops. And there's people that sometimes come and go, I just came along to be with somebody else. I'm going to be rubbish at this. And it's like, actually, are you enjoying it? And often people who enjoy it then make something beautiful. And then beauty anyway, what some one person finds beautiful, completely different to what another person is. So then as long as what you make makes other people happy and makes you happy, you are being creative.
How can a cake artist improve in creativity without spending so much?
So I really don't think you need to spend a lot of money to make beautiful cakes. When people come to my classes, I always say that what you need is something that you can mix ingredients with, and it doesn't have to be a fancy mixer. You can do it with a spoon, you can do it with a whisk. It'll be tiring, but it is possible. And then pretty much a piping bag. And if you want a smooth cake, you'll need a scraper and a turntable. But apart from that, after that, just the tools just make it easier and faster. And certain things you can't do with very specialized tools, but that doesn't mean you can't make something pretty. You might not be able to do very specific things, but then there's no need. So no, there's no need to invest in really expensive tools. And I always think try a technique without expensive tools. If you really enjoy it, then invest in it. But don't start buying tools before you know you're enjoying doing it.
the baking is like a fashion. It's improving day by day. And most times when you get a particular tools today, tomorrow you might not use it again. Do you think a cake artist can stay creative without acquiring so much tools?
Yep, completely. I think in our kitchen, we've got, so there's me and my business partners, we've got like a little kit of things like we would never part with, piping bags, certain nozzles, like I said, the scraper and everything like that. All the rest, it's sometimes when you want to do something really specific, and then you've got to think first. It's like, well, is this something I'm going to keep on doing? Then yes, invest in it because it's going to be useful. If it's just because it's fashionable and you've seen it on social media and somebody managed to sell it to you, just actually go, wait a little bit, do I actually need it? Or did I just get sold something that I just will never use again? So yeah, I'd always say to people, don't invest in anything expensive. Just enjoy doing what you with what you've got, and then after that, if you want to invest, you can do.
One of the things that I think is that is expensive tools are good, but you really don't need them. Because you can, if you are creative and you have that heart and love and passion for baking and make something beautiful and stunning, you can use anything to make a beautiful cake. You can really use anything that you have on hands. You don't really have to um, spend a lot of money on really expensive tools. And I have done that a lot of times. I have, the opportunity to bake a cake, and I really don't have the tool, but I look, I search, I try to look for the way to make it and give my client a beautiful cake. Yes. Well, the first thing that I do is to stay calm, pray. Pray a lot. And that's something that I do a lot. I pray when something is not working how I expect, right? I remember one time when I have to do a wedding cake. It was a 4-tier cake. And I remember that my KitchenAid, my machine, stopped working. So I was like, oh my God, what I'm gonna do now? My machine is not working. So I went back to the basics. I start doing my cake on hand. I did my best to give my client the best of me. So when my clients see the cake, they was very happy. I was very happy too, and very surprised. Sometimes when bad things happen, is just to show you a beautiful thing coming out from, something negative.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Over to Boss Joy. Do you think cake artists without fancy tools can still produce tarnish cake?
1000%. Even as she was sharing her experience with the wedding cake, I was thinking about how sometimes I'll just use random things that are already lying in my kitchen. For example, I wanted to make like a cake that looked like a rotisserie chicken. I'm like, how am I going to get the skin texture? I got some shelf liner and I cleaned it off, and I'm pressing it on my modeling chocolate or getting foil to get like in the nooks and crannies and create a different texture. So it's really not about the fancy tools. It's about how you utilize what's already in front of you to create what is in your head and just bring it to life. I can definitely understand having limited resources. I'll say when I first got off of maternity leave earlier this year, my oven was completely broken, but I still wanted to create content. So I had to really think like, how can I do that? So I ended up using grocery store cakes, and just repurposing them and creating something beautiful out of them. And that ended up being my most popular series I've ever done on my page. And even just using the tools that I have on hand when I wasn't able to afford, more, or making homemade modeling chocolate and homemade fondant because those things can be really expensive, but I can make it homemade for like $5, $10. So just utilizing what I have in front of me, getting like cheap paint brushes, sculpting tools, or even using like the back of my paintbrush to sculpt on my cake instead of getting like super fancy and expensive tools. And I think even trends are birthed out of not having a lot, like using what you have in front of you and creating something beautiful. I think that's where a lot of creativity is born. A lot of trends are birthed through that. So I don't think we should allow lack to stop us.
What is your advice to some of these beginners that believe in acquiring a lot of cake tools before starting up cake business?
Yeah, I would say it's not necessarily the tools that are going to get you to a level of success. It's more so the skill. It's more so like the grit and the time that you're willing to put into your craft. And it's more so about failing forward because it's inevitable. We're going to fail in this industry at some point. But what we do with those failures really shapes the creative, the baker, the cake artist that we are. And utilizing those failures as lessons and saying, okay, what can I do differently moving forward? Rather than going and buying a new fancy tool that I saw scrolling on Instagram. Because, social media, they're always trying to sell us something, even outside the cake world. So just making sure we're using what we have and really garnering those skills. Because I know it's easy to go out and buy a bunch of things before you even start um, with any hobby, really. But you can start now. You have hands. These are my favorite tools in the kitchen, truly, especially with cake sculpting. So
English roast bakery. Does creativity help a brand to stand out in this crowded baking industry?
I think the main thing is to find what you enjoy, and then just kind of not necessarily stick with that. It's fine to try different things, but don't try to do too many things. And then when you've got your style, people will come to you, and you can't please everyone. There's no point trying to please everyone. Just think doing something that you enjoy, and when people see your cakes, they can recognize that it's from you, and then they come to you because they like your style. And then it's that way you share it with other bakers, because we shouldn't be in competition with each other. If we each have our style and then we support each other. For example, I don't do anymore any sort of sugar paste modeling, but I know another baker who's amazing at it. So if anybody approaches me with, I'd like this cake, I go like, this is not what I do, but I know somebody else who can do it. And that way, I think it gives a really nice community to work in, because sometimes people who enter the cake industry think that we all out for ourselves and we're trying to get all the customers, and that's not what it's about. So I think find your own creativity, be confident with it. Don't be scared of failing, like Joy said. Like I always say, fail to fail better next time, because it's going to keep happening. And that's for everything in life. Just kind of go, oh, made a mistake, that's fine. You can try a style of cake and go, really didn't enjoy it. And if a customer asks you again to make it, you can say, actually, no, I don't do that. So I think, yeah, be creative in your own way, and yeah, you make the rules, just enjoy it. So I think one is to try to please everyone and to actually try to do every style of cake possible. Nobody can be good at everything. And I think another mistake, well, I don't know if it's a mistake, but something that people do a lot, and that's in all areas of life, is to keep comparing themselves to others. It's fine to go on social media, it's fine to look at what other people do, but always think that you'll always think that somebody's doing it better than you. And then if you think that, you might stop doing what you're doing. And it's like, no, we all have our own styles.
Yes.
It's fine to look at what other people do, but don't compare, because it's just not a way to build your confidence. So just do something that you enjoy. Don't compare yourself. It's fine to go and get inspired by other people. But yeah, I think that's a really common mistake, that people just kind of go, I'll never be as good as. And social media only shows what people want to show, and the best of the best. I always say as well, with cakes, a lot of the time people think a cake is always perfect, and there's always the front of the cake, and then the back is not perfectly central. There might be like a I don't know, like a little mistake at the back. It's fine. So what you see on Instagram is always the front of the cake. There might be a filter, there might be, just know that what you see on social media is not the reality. So don't be too hard on yourself. And yes, there will always be somebody who probably can do something better than you, but you'll do something better than somebody else. So
Yes.
again, just go with the flow and enjoy it.
Thank you very much. Let me move a bit to Boss Liz. How do you think creativity influence customer satisfaction?
Because I think the creativity is work with emotions. When you bake with love and you give the best of you, that's the intention. That's the more important that you can share with others. Just giving the best, loving what you do, put that passion on what you are doing. Try to give always the best.
Boss Joy, let me come to you. How were you able to create that path for yourself?
For me, I think it kind of sort of ties back into failing forward and just being willing to take risks. Because a lot of the things that I do are things that I haven't seen before. And we live in a day and age where tutorials and things like that are super accessible now, which is incredible for cake artists. There's like a lot of free stuff on YouTube. But I when I search like, oh, how do I make an oxtail cake in an edible to-go plate? I'm not going to see that on YouTube. So I have to kind of be willing to teach myself through that. And like she was saying earlier, pray like, okay, how am I going to make this? I need some pointers here. And yeah, that's been really helpful for me. I like to think outside of the box and I love to challenge myself in doing things that I haven't seen done before. So that really just takes a lot of confidence, like she was mentioning earlier, just not comparing yourself to anybody else and kind of just having a me versus myself mentality. Like, how can I be better than I was yesterday? Or how can I be a better cake artist than I was last year? Like, what can I do to make myself improve? The story I was sharing earlier about how my oven broke. It would have been super easy for me to say, okay, I'm just not going to create content right now. I'm going to wait until I can get a new oven or I can fix this one. But instead, I thought on my feet, like, okay, how can I still create beautiful content? How can I still practice my skill set and without my oven? Because obviously, I can't bake a cake. So going to grocery stores and getting those cakes. Which is different for me because I don't have clients. Like I wouldn't have sold those, but since I do content, I was able to be creative, think outside of the box, and create a whole new series because people really enjoyed seeing me take a cake that was a birthday cake with balloons on it and transform it into a seafood boil. Like people really enjoyed that. So I think some of your best ideas are birthed through limited resources because you really have to force yourself to think instead of giving up on yourself. Like, okay, I obviously can't do it now. I don't have X, Y, and Z. Forcing yourself to think, okay, how can I still accomplish this with what I have in front of me
What are the small daily practices that can grow a baker creativity?
daily? Yeah, I would say just take some time to brainstorm every day. Um, and dream. Allow yourself to dream like a little kid. I feel like as we get older, like sometimes it's easy for the dreamer in us to kind of fade away. But just allow that imagination to continue to grow. Brainstorm and even find people you can find inspiration from and things of that nature. Connect with other bakers and things of that nature as well. Because we all do have like different strengths and weaknesses, and we can glean from each other in that and just finding a support system as well. But I would say start by dreaming every day, even if it's 5 minutes. Like one day I want to be able to make this kind of cake, and I think this is how I'm going to do it. I have like a list on my phone of all types of cakes I want to make. So just allow yourself to dream.
Over to English roses. But when we talk about creating a niche, how can the cake artists identify the area they specialize on so that they can make their brands stand out from other brands?
It's a really good one. A good question. As I said, I started like being self-taught and just made lots of different cakes and bakes and whatever. And then I joined a business and became business partner with my current business partner at the English Rose Bakery, where we specialize in French macaroons, and it was more, rather than being the favorite thing that we wanted to bake, we realized there was a gap in the market in Manchester, and realized that we could bake them, and we enjoyed making them, and that's how we became specialized in French macaroons. I'm French as well, so that helps, but I did actually learn how to make them in France. um, but then afterwards, with cakes, it's been very much led by what I love. So I love flowers. So it's all around, I do very much that kind of natural themes and floral designs, but also led by customers. So sometimes customer would say, I like spending quite a lot of time to make a cake really personal, so speak with the customer. And obviously, they've got to like already a little bit the style I was doing, but sometimes they come up with ideas or things that they'd like. And then I kind of merge what I like to do with what they're asking for. And then suddenly it's like, oh, that's a new style of cake. I like making them. Right, that's it. So some of it is, well, I think for me, very little planning of this is what I want to do, but kind of these are the opportunities and go with I enjoy this. So I'll do more of that. And then that's how it's become a speciality. I think that's a really personal thing. Like if people, some people like being really kind of go, right, this is my plan and I'm going to do that particular cake. When I'm more kind of going, this is what I enjoy doing, but I'm going to be a little bit customer led with what people like, and then I'll still make it into my style. We'll always involve French macaroons one way or another. Whether you like it or not, you are ending up with French macaroons on your cake.
Okay, as a self-taught cake artist, what kind of mindset should these beginners have to stay creative?
Practice, practice, practice. And learn from your failure and follow what you enjoy. And as I said before, don't compare yourself. Just start with, start making a cake, see what you liked about it. Then just do a little bit more. If you're struggling with knowing which direction to go, then start advertising what you do and see. Usually you will attract the customers that like what you do, and if at first you're trying to do everything, really quickly you'll see that you're much better at one thing than another. So I think, yeah, follow what you enjoy, and if you're not sure, allow your customers to kind of lead the way a little bit and then kind of go that way. But if you enjoy doing it, you can do it. It takes a while to make it into a full-time business. So if you want to become a baker and you've got a family, don't quit all your jobs straight away. Build it up gently before you kind of go all out. It is possible to do it, but don't put extra pressure on yourself by sometimes taking too big a leap unless you're super confident and then go for it. But I would say generally little baby steps until you're confident in what you want to do and you can see that there's a market without where it's possible to start making it into a business.
In your own opinion, what define a true skill cake artist?
By focusing on the love, details, harmony, when you design with passion and purpose, even in the simplest cake, they can look elegant and luxury because of the beauty and your heart, what you create, what you have in your heart, and you create something beautiful. So,
Thank you so much. My next question is still with you. How can bakers use creativity to turn simple cakes into luxury looking designs?
well, I think by focusing on love and details and harmony, I um, can you repeat the question again? I want to make sure that I'm answering right.
Okay, okay, I'm coming back again. How can cake artists use creativity to turn simple cakes into luxury looking designs?
Yes, I by focusing in love and details, harmony, and when you design with passion and purpose, even the simplest cake look elegant. And so I really think that luxury becomes because of the beauty, because of your heart, what you put on it.
I would say there's a lot of different techniques you can do to take like a simple like iced 6-inch cake. Even like in today's age, I think minimalist designs can be seen as luxury, but even if you have like some gold leaf or something and you can throw it on there. And I think French macaroons are French macarons, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to butcher that, are such a beautiful way to elevate a cake as well. So I love that you do that. I think that's amazing. Um, Even like edible pearls. There's so many cool ingredients nowadays that we can use to just take a plain simple cake to the next level of luxury. And even down to like how a cake is presented instead of a simple thin cake board, putting a cake drum and putting a ribbon around it, or getting a clear box and putting a bow on it. It just makes the experience feel better for the customer who's receiving it.
Have you ever been inspired by making mistake to create something new?
Oh, absolutely. I've actually recently started to create some of my first realistic cakes that I did like 10 years ago. And looking at those cakes now, I can see all the little mistakes. And so I'm looking at those and I'm like, okay, over these 10 years, I've learned a lot. So how can I apply all those techniques that I've learned and make those decade-old cakes look so much better? So I really love to do that, to see my growth in that and to just put my new skills to the test as well. So I would say like content creation is kind of like a whole different beast. There's cake decorating and there's creating the content. And I didn't start with like a big nice space. I literally just painted my wall last week. So if you have a phone, if you have a window, you don't even need a tripod. There was times where I didn't have a tripod, but I would prop my phone up on books. Start by recording what you're already making. Make sure your space is clear and clean and concise and check out what's trending. You have to study the platforms that you're posting on. Like if you're posting on TikTok, see what sounds are trending that you can add to your cake. Look at, bakers with bigger platforms and kind of gauge and see like how they were able to grow their platforms. And one of the things I did to go viral the first time was actually hop on a trend that was started by makeup artists. They were drawing different emojis on their faces, and it was a huge trend. And I was like, I'm going to do that with cakes. I'm going to make a bunch of different emoji cakes. So I kind of hopped on this trend, and it allowed like 10 million people across the world for me to be shown to. So just study algorithms and everything of that nature and make sure like when you're posting your cakes that you're creating a video that hooks people in within the first 3 seconds. Because these days people have shorter attention spans, so they're either going to stop and see what you're doing, or they're going to keep scrolling. So have an on-screen hook and a verbal hook, or do a trend with a trending audio. And make sure you have a call to action in your bio. Send people to your website to book. Make sure it's clear and concise, like people know, like, oh my gosh, I love that cake. How can I order? Don't make it too many steps because they're not going to order. They want ease. So allow your booking site to be right there, your email, your phone number, whatever it is, plain and simple for people to see.
English Rose Bakery. How can collaboration with other bakers boost your creativity as a cake brand?
So I think there's first where you can actually work together and do cakes. Well, not necessarily the same cake together, but for example, there's like dessert tables and for weddings and events where you can actually work together and create things together, which is nice. Otherwise, to boost creativity, seeing what people do, and for example, if you like I was saying before, like know your niche. So if the baker that's down the street from you is starting to specialize in something, just don't make it your personal challenge to just do the same. Um, just kind of go, oh, they're doing that. Let's do something different. And sometimes actually chatting to each other I know that in a community, I get on really well with other cake bakers. We sometimes even go if there's like a wedding fair, because there's certain things to get out there which end up being not only expensive, but for example, for a wedding fair, you need to have a full display table, which is a lot to prepare for. But if you split a stall together, you can actually present something beautiful together, split the cost, and actually it's nice to work with other people. So that's a nice way to become creative together, and then share customers, and yeah, just have a nice community.
Okay, do you think bakers can feel complete without latest tools in their bakery?
Yeah, you don't need the latest tools. Latest tools first, you've got to learn how to use them. Sometimes they don't make things easier. I got excited once and bought one of those things that's supposed to give you like super straight edges on the cake. Did not work. I've tried 5 times. So no, like learning how to use simple tools well will do better than buying the fanciest thing that costs you loads of money and that will probably end up at the bottom of your drawer and you won't use them. Occasionally, really fancy tools work really well. And if you can afford to invest in them, but ideally, actually, that's another good thing sometimes to work with another baker or to have a community of bakers. You can actually ask, has anybody tried this? Am I being fooled by social media? Or is it worth buying? Or can I actually borrow it to try it out? And then you can decide if you want to invest. But generally, no. Unless you do something really specialized, you don't need fancy tools. Just get yourself a nice little basic kit, get really comfortable and confident using that. Then you can decide later on what to buy.
Thank you
And
so much.
it's also fine sometimes to reach out to bakers like online. And I'm not saying please bombard me with 20 million questions after this live and I'll answer everything, but actually sometimes to ask, if you start in baking, to ask a professional baker, would you mind like telling me? Or they might have a little workshop that you don't need to go on a year course to find out if something works. Sometimes there might be just a half-day workshop that you can attend to just try things out. So yeah, this was not an invitation to get 20 million questions later on. That will be friendly.
Thank you so much. Okay, what's one cake you made that provides creativity and beats tools?
Okay, that provided creativity. I have to think. I would say probably my favorite cake that I've done so far was like a pot. It was a big pot, and I put like crab legs and corn and potatoes and the whole 9 yards. And for that cake, like I really only used two things for the sculpting portion. Well, more than two, but for the sculpting portion, I just used my hands and a little like sculpting tool that I got like 5 years ago that's still going strong to just sculpt all those details. And the beautiful thing about modeling chocolate is it's so moldable and it forms really well, like even if you have gloves on to body heat, and it's easy to mold. And on top of that, I just use like lemon extract and food coloring. And of
Okay.
course, a rolling pin for the fondant. So yeah, you really can create something beautiful without like a vast collection of tools and supplies.
Tell us what's your favorite moment as a cake artist?
I would say my favorite moment so far in my career has been competing on TV. Um, I was on a competition show a few years ago, and that was just really fun for me. It's a lot of pressure. It's definitely not for everybody because it can be a lot, but I had so much fun. Like I lost, but I still felt like a winner at the end because I learned so much, like behind the scenes and just seeing how the TV world works and just being able to compete. And like when they're counting down 3, 2, 1, and everybody's like, oh, it's like that in real life. I was like, oh my gosh, put the sprinkles on. But that was really fun. Like I really enjoyed the pressure. And yeah, I want to do it again. So yeah.
Um, what's your worst moment?
Mm, I would say I was baking a cake one time. It was a 2-tier cake, It was for a family member, so it could have been worse. But I was bringing out the refrigerator, and both tears just sloop on the floor, and I just laid down on the floor next to the cake because I was so sad. But it ended up okay. I had time to remake it. It was for my grandma. She passed away, but she was really sweet about it. So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. To English Rose Becky, I want to ask you, what are those things you wish you knew earlier before?
Oh wow, like this is getting deep now. uh, things I wish I knew. Practice really does make a difference, and that everybody, absolutely everybody, is rubbish when they start. And I think at the start, I was like, I'm just not good. And it took me quite a long time to have the confidence to kind of go, I'm still not amazing at everything. And it's what's exciting actually that you keep learning. But it really, I think, imposter syndrome, like thinking that everybody else is much better. Even
Uh,
coming to this today, I was like, I don't know, I'm just going to say something really stupid, or I'm going to swear, and I've done very well up to now. um, but I think, yeah, imposter syndrome, always thinking that I'm just not good enough, and then realizing that most people actually get that. But it took me to get confident to realize that actually most people, at least when they start, and even down the line, I've been doing it for 13 years, and there's still days sometimes where I go and make a cake and go, this is too big a project, or doing like again booked for a workshop for 100 people and turning up and kind of going, oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. So yeah, I think if I wish I knew that everybody, or at least everybody I've met and talked to, started thinking they were rubbish. And I think once you realize that we're all the same, we're all human, and we all doubt ourselves, and yeah, if we practice, we'll get better. And yeah, I'm actually made a note of the failing forward. Thank you very much. I'm so keeping this. Is a great way of thinking. Is I just keep going. Yeah, so that's
thank,
what I wish I knew.
thank you so much. Boss Liz, I want to ask you, if you have a superpower to change things in the baking world to favor cake artists, what is that thing and which area do you think you would have changed to favor cake artists around the world?
Okay, I think if I had that superpower, oh my God, I will. My goodness, I I do. I would. And my height is now low. I
Um,
will do so many change. I will um, help
what-
others. I will uh, give more tools to others so they can learn more, so they can do better. I will also give the financial they need to, bring that business up. And I will create maybe people that show others with love and passion, not always thinking that everything is for us or thinking on us. I think it's a lot of people out there that are looking for to know more of baking and this area.
Okay. Beautiful. I think if you have superpower, I will become a cake artist so that I can also stand to benefit from those things. To Boss John, if you have a superpower, what can you change?
I would say I know like being in America, like we have privileges that other countries may not have. Like somebody might have a dream, but it might not be as accessible to them. So I think if I had a superpower, like just to make everybody's dream accessible, no matter where they are in the world, like a oven, a mixing bowl of whisk, like sending out baking starter kits to everybody who wants to bake, I think would be a beautiful thing. So everybody will have an opportunity and a chance to um, do the thing that they're dreaming about or a thing that they have a passion for.
Okay, beautiful. To both English roses. If you have a superpower, what will you change?
How can I follow this now? I was going to say something silly, and now this is just not possible. I'm going to say something really meaningful now. So I'll probably go to get everybody to believe in themselves, like, and just to be true to themselves as they go through their baking journey or whatever journey they go through. But yeah, equality and opportunities for everyone, I think, beats this. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, before you go, what will be your last take up to the younger ones that are still struggling in the baking war?
Well, believe in yourself. You can do it. If you're enjoying it, keep doing it. It's not necessarily about making money. So sometimes I think people go in it and it's like, no, if it's a hobby, keep it as a hobby. You don't necessarily need to make money, and enjoy it. It's cake should bring joy to the ones that make it and the ones that eat it. And yeah, if you find it stressful, remember it's only cake. If your cake falls, I've also had the 2 tier cake that collapsed, and that was with a customer. It happens. If it is and somebody has a meltdown, just go, it's cake. Yeah. Can we just put things into perspective? So yeah, my tip is have fun, enjoy it, try not to stress about it, and remember that yeah, you don't have to necessarily turn it into a business. It can just be a passion, and that's it. That's my little tip of the day. Boundaries, clear boundaries. Yeah, just be clear on what you want. I've got a family. I've got a child, though she's 15, so she doesn't really care if I'm at home now. But no, just be clear if you've got working hours. Just see, like, if you, it's because it's really easy, especially if you're baking from home, to kind of go, oh yeah, I'll do that, and then at 11 p.m. you're still in the middle of chocolate and flour and everything. And it's quite important to keep something enjoyable, is to have boundaries. So if you go, I'm only working X amount of hours per week, and yes, sometimes a cake, you might have to rebake it. Something takes longer than you thought. You've got to have a little bit of leeway, but try not to be tempted to say yes to everything. And remember that, yeah, if you've got a family or if you've got friends and you want to spend time with them, uh, do, because otherwise it can just take over. Because when you're creative, there's a lot that happens in the head, and sometimes when people ask about like cake prices, why does it cost so much, it's like there's the time that you bake, there's the time that you make, there's the time in your head, and that's probably double what people imagine. So yeah, have boundaries, because quickly when you're creative it can take over your life. So yeah, there's time when you bake, or there's time when you don't. But yeah, if you're baking from home, you've got to be even stricter with yourself, because that just takes over everywhere. I'm lucky that I've got a separate kitchen. I walk to work. I've got time where I close the kitchen and that's it. But not everybody's got that. So yeah, boundaries.
Thank you so much. And before we go, Boss John, baking is very demanding. How do you relieve yourself from stress?
I would say I love like to spend time with my family. I'm a stay-at-home mom as well. So really just like disconnecting. Like when I'm done baking, I'm done baking. It is time for me to play with my baby, for me to spend time with my husband. And even in taking care of myself by myself as well, and making sure I'm having my alone time to recharge. And yeah, self-care is super, super important because it's very, very easy to burn out in this industry. So I agree with her, like setting those firm boundaries and not putting more on your plate than you can actually humanly do. And not trying to do everything or be everything to everybody. Yeah, so my household comes first, baking is second. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let me also ask you before I move to watch list so that we can wrap up the show. What is your motivation at the moment?
My motivation, I think for me, I just have a lot of things that I want to accomplish. Um, and I want to continue to show my cake art and share that with the world. I think there's just a lot of craziness going on all around the world. And I think, cake art can bring people joy. Even cakes in general, sweets in general, it's just like a moment of just like, okay, this is making me happy right now. So, like, just to stop people in the middle of their scroll on Instagram or TikTok and give them just a little sense of joy, joy-filled delights, but in the middle of their day with whatever they're going through, like that really makes me happy. That motivates me. And I want to continue to reach people around the world. I want to teach people. I'm actually having my first ever in-person masterclass next week, teaching people how to make their own hyper realistic cakes. So just helping people walk in their purpose as well, and hopefully even bringing that into an online space so I can teach more people across the world. So yeah.
Thank you so much. But please wrap up so that we can draw the curtain. I want to ask you, um, working in a very demanding industry, if you have opportunity to choose your career all over again, will you choose baking?
Yes, 100%. That's what I love. That's my passion. I enjoy every moment, every second of it. I really do. I will make it again. I will do it again 1,000 times if I have to choose to bake. That's the more, after my family, that's the more thing that I love to do. Yes.
Okay. What is your take on Baker's TV show before you go?
Oh, I am in love with a Baker TV show. I really went through every single interview. I have learned a lot. I really love it. I can tell everybody that is start baking to go to your page, to go to Baker's TV show, because I have learned. Even I had years working with cakes and these baking areas. I There's things that I don't know, and I been learning from you guys, from each of you, and I'm blessed and I'm thankful. And I just tell everybody to join your page and follow and keep learning
Okay,
and keep
thank you
doing
so
what you're doing.
much.
Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for everything that you are doing. Really, it means a lot. It means a lot.
Thank you so much. How do you feel sharing the same platform with Boss Joy? Realizing that she's in Florida and you're Florida, how do you feel?
I feel blessed, blessed, and thankful, because I she is somebody else that I'm gonna look, and as well as forgot your name, the macaron girl. I
Marie.
will, yes, I will follow you. I will learn from you. I know that I have a lot to learn, and I feel blessed to be part of this interview with you both. Yes.
Uh, Thank you so much. Boss Joy, to my English Rose Bakery, and she's in UK, she's in Manchester. How do you feel knowing her through this platform? And then
Yeah.
you wrap with your take on data acquisition.
Yeah, I think it's really awesome. I think this is the beauty of social media, being able to connect with somebody that's in a completely different country, completely different time zone. I think that's just really beautiful that we get to share this space and even just hearing about, her passions and her strengths, I think that's incredible and what she's offering in Manchester and how she even started, the French macarons and saw that there was a need for that and filled in that gap. I think that's absolutely wonderful. And I'm thankful for this platform as well and for this opportunity to share my story and the things I've learned throughout the years. And I think it's beautiful, a beautiful resource for bakers at any stage because we're all so different. We all have different strengths and different weaknesses. And I think there's something we can learn from every baker. So I think this is great for beginners and the more seasoned ones as well. So thank you for what you do.
Okay, thank you so much. But English roads, what will be your take for both of them?
Well, I think it's wonderful that we get to, like Joy said, to kind of meet on this platform and from across the world at different times. It's great to see other people's takes on baking and challenges, and the fact that I really love the idea of community, and it feels like, oh, we've just had like a little community afternoon where we've connected. And you asked me before, what did I wish I knew when I started? And I think having something like this where I could hear people's journeys and realizing that it's not easy every day, but you keep going and getting tips and different ways of doing things and from around the world. So it's amazing. And yeah, it's been really enjoyable.
Thank you so much. Bye bye to everyone. I'm bye to my guest. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you so much. Bye.